Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Yeah, I'm David Meltzer. I'm a speaker, author, entrepreneur, investor, on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy by teaching other people to teach other people to teach other people how to make a lot of money, how to help a lot of people, and how to have a lot of fun. And it's taken me a journey of 56 years from making over $100 million, losing it, to making it all back again and more. Instead of living in a zero-sum game, a not enough game, a just enough game, living a life of value add and more than enough game. And that's what I teach others to teach others. And that's why I'm here and appreciate the opportunity, Dan.
Awesome. So how did you get into entrepreneurship in the first place?
I was poor. So I got into entrepreneurship because I wanted to make money and I didn't want to limit my potential of making money. And so from the time I was 5 years old, the only time I wasn't happy was when my single mom didn't have enough money. So I decided the only way to solve that was to be rich, and looking at entrepreneurship was the fastest and easiest way to get there, even though I adhered to my mom's theories like doctor, lawyer, or failure, or the fetus isn't fully developed till after graduate school. When I finally graduated law school, instead of being an oil and gas litigator and making $150,000 plus bonus, I decided to be uncapped, unwavering, and work in the internet. And 9 months out of law school, I was a millionaire. 3 years later, we exited for $3.4 billion. West Publishing merged with Thomson Reuters. And I set my entrepreneurial and investor venture journey for the last years, as I have indicated, that roller coaster that I love so much to enjoy, the consistent everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of my own potential.
So what did you do before and then you lost your money? And I guess I'm curious what you're doing now exactly when it comes to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So, when I lost everything, I had to go from radical, ignorant arrogance to radical, ignorant humility, meaning that I knew I didn't know what I didn't know, but I was so successful, I was afraid to tell people I didn't know what I didn't know. And so after I lost everything, I think people realized I didn't know what I didn't know. So I utilized a track, a trajectory, a divine direction in the divine time to live in humility, to understand the only way to get to where I wanted to be was, one, to ask people who were already where I wanted to be for help, and two, to help other people get to where they wanted to be. And so building a community of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other has evolved and allowed me to build a lifetime community of people that buy from me and sell for me, and vice versa. And so I've been beyond running the most notable sports agency in the world, having a global sports marketing company. Over the last 7 years since Super Bowl, I've built one of the biggest entrepreneurial brands by utilizing TV shows, podcasts, free trainings, Instagram lives, all types of shows, thousands and thousands of interviews, either given by me or me giving them, like here, and utilizing that platform in order to amplify a message of gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication to facilitate making a lot of money, living in the world of more than enough, living in a value add world, an infinite loop, as I call it, of teaching people how to have everything for everyone.
For sure. So is your focus now more sports marketing and working with a certain sport? I think that I've seen you, there's some events that you've hosted with NBA players, for example. So I'm curious if it's just like basketball or other sports, what does that look like?
Well, it started just in sports, running Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment, and then moving to Sports One Marketing. But what I realized is that I really look for the best of the best in every area: billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, and entertainers. So I utilize all of those as what I call bug lights to attract more money, more opportunity, more options, and more touches of favor. People, I've won the Variety Magazine Sports Humanitarian of the Year, and I joked around and said, I'm not a philanthropist. I am truly a philanthropimp. I pimp out all of those extraordinary people to raise money for charity, to help more people and have more fun. So whether it be the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl, the Masters, Kentucky Derby, Breeders' Cup, the ESPYs, Emmys, Oscars, Grammys, all of the different events that draw the biggest people on earth, the most attention on earth, the greatest post-production content on earth, I use the biggest bug lights as a philanthropist to pimp out all of those exceptional individuals for the realm, for the rights, for the sake of helping others.
That's awesome. But like obviously that you're involved in all these sports, is there like a certain sport that you enjoy being involved with more, like or that you enjoy, going to games more than other sports?
Yeah, but football is my pride and joy. I played football in college, and it's the love of my life. My business partner, Warren Moon, Hall of Fame quarterback, only Black Hall of Fame quarterback, still in the Hall of Fame, both U.S., by the way, and Canadian Hall of Fame. So football is the love of my life. As far as sports goes. So I lean heavily into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the NFLPA, the current players, helping them expand what they do on the field, the spirit of excellence, the desire that they must be what they can be, that they utilize on the field. Now I help them utilize it off the field.
For sure. So obviously now in 2024, that many organizations, entrepreneurs are using AI in their business. So do you use AI at all? And if not, like where could AI may add value for you in 2024?
Yeah. So for me, I hired a full-time AI expert consultant to go through all the different capabilities of each of my employees, all the different work processes, business processes, and to derive the value of how I can implement, execute, and access AI to facilitate much more than I'm doing today, a greater value than I'm doing today. I did the same inventory and auditing with virtual assistants as well, taking away capabilities that human beings are not up to snuff with, especially in America. So between AI and virtual assistants, I'm looking to take away capabilities from human beings to either utilize technology or utilize outsourced people that aren't living for luxury, but living for life. And so I get 4 times the productivity, the accessibility, and gratitude from a virtual assistant to do menial tasks. Because as I did when I was graduating law school, I was living for life, not living for luxury. So it was very hard for other people to be as productive, accessible, and gracious. I sat on my bed my second year in law school and told God that if he allowed me to pay back my law loans and pay and buy my mom a house, that I would shovel shit with my hands 6 days a week, 12 hours a day in gratitude. That's the type of attitude that a lot of my virtual assistants have. And in combination with the extraordinary power of AI, the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in my company has exponentially grown just in a matter of a few months of implementing what these consultants have afforded me to analyze and utilize and execute.
So in terms of virtual assistants, are they typically like in the Philippines or where are you finding them?
Yeah, well, I use the VA group, and they specifically use a lot of talent in the Philippines. They speak multiple languages, highly educated, can actually beyond the engagement and accessibility part, they actually have an intellect and inspiration and an intuition that provides exponential value besides the emotional aspect that as you know, there's certain employees that are not lifetime employees that are going to move on. In some of those positions, it's nice not having an emotional connection that when the project or the opportunity has deceased, that we don't have any guilt, resentment, offense in the relationship because a third party owns that relationship and just moves them on to a bigger and better opportunity immediately. So you don't have the same emotional drain that you have with a full-time employee.
Makes sense. So in terms of like the AI consultant, like I'm curious about that too, right? Like what specifically, if you can give me like a use case, like of an example of how this person, brought value and implemented AI, what really helped you out, like in your business.
Well, for example, we hold a frequency, a brand, and it's been growing exponentially as well. So we want, whether it be comments, messaging, emails, press releases, newsletter, we want to have a common frequency to what we do. We want to have a brand standard. My goal, which hopefully someday I could actually execute on, as well as my favorite brand, which is Einstein. Think about the power of Einstein. He has almost the notoriety and awareness that Jesus has. Almost as many people on earth know Einstein as they do Jesus. The only difference is if we bring up Jesus to people around the world, they're going to have a different meaning to that brand. And Einstein has a solidarity of branding. When you say Einstein, people think genius. And so what I've learned with AI is that because I have so much content and synthesized data that can be utilized, that anyone could write an email in my company and say, please rewrite this email as if I'm David Meltzer, speaker, author, entrepreneur. We can write articles for the newsletter. We can create interviews and do all types of different capabilities that not only take us from 0 to 1 and sometimes literally 1,000th of a time, but it can give us a tonality and a branding review in a matter of seconds to put everything within the context, the frequency of our brand, and these subtleties of success that take so long to train someone to gain the voice, the idea, the branding of a product, service, solution, or personal brand now takes milliseconds.
That's awesome. So what would you say is the biggest challenge that you currently face in your business?
My current challenge is opportunities and prioritization of opportunities. Because the total addressable community out there is about 7.6 billion people, and our brand has grown exponentially, that the reach of the brand creates so many opportunities, options, and touches of favor that our systems are capable of prioritizing the options, opportunities, and touches of favor. So we had to re-engineer with our consultants a process of, number one, we actually had to create a system to capture all the options, opportunities that are coming in. Then we have to create a system to distribute those either internally or externally to maximize the capability and stay on brand, on frequency in that neighborhood. Then we had to have a prioritization system in order to prioritize each and every person with the opportunities that they've received either internally or externally to maximize being able to make the most money, help the most people, and have the most fun. And then we also have a system that facilitates the execution of stimulating interest, transitioning interest, sharing a vision, managing and develop the vision, and thriving so that we do get a community of people that are buying from us and selling for us, and then being able to determine if we should redistribute it to someone better after that analysis and that capability. So utilizing these systems is the biggest challenge that we have right now, but they're mostly created by, we've created a monster. And I put that into my plan, but it was a 20-year plan. Little did I know that we would overachieve in the 7 years what I thought would take 20 years. But when you start doubling a community of 2 million people in a faster way than you used to double 2 people. So, I thought it would be 2 people in year 1, 4 people in year 2, 8 people in year 3, but it became 2 people in month 1, 4 people in 30 days, 8 people in 29 days, 16 people the next, and so on and so forth. Now we're getting to when every 30 days, we're looking at an exponentiality of opportunities, and it gets to be overwhelming. So these processes are being built, hopefully to effectuate and to create the efficiencies of prioritization. So not only do we take advantage of the opportunities, we're able to distribute them to our community so everybody wins.
For sure. Well, I guess like one quick tidbit, if you can share, like how you've been able to grow that quickly in a short amount of time.
Yeah, so what we did is we focused in on daily practices. And those daily practices were meant to empower others to empower others. We did not attach our emotions or our plans to outcomes. We simply said, what are we going to do today by learning from all the lessons of the past, the mistakes, failures, setbacks, and I got plenty, defining moments, historical relevances, aligned with a divine direction, a divine time in order to effectuate what we think we want. And then when we knew each day what we want according to the external circumstances of COVID, of in-laws, of flat tires, of bad weather, whatever occurs during the day, we then asked the next question of the possibility of what we want today and a trajectory of where we think we want to be in the future. Who can we help and who can help us? And then how can we best get that done utilizing 24 hours a day that we're guaranteed. You see, Dan, you're guaranteed 24 hours a day every day of your life, except for the last day, you'll be cheated a few hours. But if you focus in on the hours that you can't utilize, meaning the hours of the past, non-utilitarianism, and the hours of the future, non-accessible. If you focus in on the 24 hours a day of how can I get what I want done and who I can help and who can help me, I now can do it now and know what I'm going to do next. You see, 100% of the things you do now get done. If you learn to prioritize the now and the next, you'll create such efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success in everything you do in alignment with the timing and risk tolerance, with the divine direction and divine time, with humility that you don't know what you don't know, but each day you're doing your best, you're learning lessons, you're having fun, you're being more productive, more accessible, and more gracious, which leads to a distinguished productive analysis of your day by not trying to search for your why, but applying your why. You see, instead of trying to get more every day, more happy, more healthy, more wealthy, more worthy, you're actually just identifying what you're doing to interfere with it. And by saying, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy, and figuring out what I'm doing to interfere with it, I'm now utilizing the infinite loop and the mechanism and modality in which it was created, which is to provide more than enough of everything for everyone.
That's awesome. So if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing your website or social media handles, I guess, best ways to get in contact with you?
Yeah, well, thank you, Dan. I'd like to offer your entire community my book. I will send you my book. I will sign it. I will pay for the book. I will pay for shipping. It's a perfect starting point. So the best way to get in touch with me is, number one, email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com, and I'll sign, send, ship, pay for the book and shipping. So just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. And if you forget my email, which by the way is david@dmeltzer.com, just Google David Meltzer. You will find me everywhere. I've worked really hard to build a platform to be of service and of value to others. We have free Friday trainings, free books. We have a Monday networking group. We have a variety of shows all here to create a literal social silo of people who want to help each other and know people that can help each other. David@dmeltzer.com and David Meltzer. That's where you'll find me. If it's free, it's me. So go ahead and ask.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you so much for your time today.
You're awesome, Dan. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Dan.